Everybody, what's up? I made a video the other day and I said we have to stop asking why our kids are gone and this and that. And I want to talk about another aspect of it. And today, our adult sons and daughters are causing significant pain, lying, rewriting their childhood, etc., saying we abused them and this and that. And I want to ask our offspring, what do you get from hurting your mom or dad? Lying about them, telling false truths about them, making up stories about them, or spreading information about them that really was never meant to be shared with the entire world. And I want to say it's got to be easy for them to do this because they don't see our tears. They can ghost us, cut us off, and really a majority of us don't have YouTube channels and we're not out there posting and making it public. They don't see our faces when they leave. And they normally cut off anyone else who has a heart for us as well. So how do we define someone that enjoys the suffering of other people, enjoys inflicting pain on others? And there is a word for it, and it's called a sadist. And going into that, and I'm just going to read the definition, my handy dandy notebook. Person who derives pleasure, gratification, or enjoyment from inflicting physical or emotional pain or suffering or humiliation on others is defined as a sadist. This behavior ranges from extreme violent acts to everyday sadism, which includes bullying, trolling, or taking pleasure in others, in the pain of others. And so I just want to know, I say we can ask why, but when it comes down to it, we're never going to understand it. Those of us who are not sadists, we truly will never understand the mindset of someone who believes this is like A-okay. But as an adult, I can stay away from it and I can handle it. I can say, I can block them. I can live in my own little bubble. I live in a fairly quiet little neighborhood and know my neighbors and have pretty much a peaceful life. But let's talk about those who can't escape our sons and daughters, and that is their own children, our grandchildren. Can you imagine being raised by someone like that? Someone who is not kind, someone who enjoys inflicting pain on other people. Can you imagine seeing that and that being your norm? If we think our behaviors don't affect our children, ask your own estranged son or daughter how your behaviors affected them. They say you were a terrible parent and you abused them and this and that. They didn't get this or. So if our behaviors affected our children and they disconnected from us, think of how much worse our grandchildren have it when they're being raised by people that cannot exhibit any sort of compassion towards their own parents. So if we think life is tough for us, I'll tell you, and I've talked about this before, I was raised by someone who was not necessarily maternal, who was dubbed the Black Cloud by her own siblings, because when she was around it was gloom and doom and gossip and slander and all that, and someone who couldn't keep a secret if her life depended on it. And so I was raised by someone who was not kind. And I'll tell you, it was not easy as a survivor. And I'm not angry, and people are the way they are. And I do not take responsibility for the actions of my fathers, forefathers, grandparents, this and that. I just don't. All I know is that I believe I raised my children in a household which exhibited kindness, love, compassion, empathy, etc. And so I tried to do better. And then now we have a series of individuals who think that cutting their parents off is a-okay, and being cruel to them is okay too. What is it? Skip a generation? I don't know. But anyways, think about that. I mean, the only thing I can do is pray for my grandkids and hope they find me someday and realize that everything that has been stated about me is they can realize for themselves that it's not true. So that's all I've got. I hope this helps, and I hope it makes sense to someone else. But anyways, that's all I've got, and I will be back.